Okay, all right, guys, I welcome you to this platform, and I believe I need no introduction again. Like I said on the description, this is for Theognosis. So I'm warning, and I'm placing my warning now. This is going to be a controversial channel where a lot of controversial things are going to be discussed. Please, this is not going to be about your faith, your religion. This is just going to be about knowing exactly the concept of God and the personality that surrounds God and everything we seek to know. So please, this is a journey, so careful. So we're going to be discussing a lot of curriculum ranging from spiritualism, also mysticism and spiritism, esotericism. Also, we're going to be looking at the spiritual psychology, bilocation, translocation, and teleportation. Also, we're going to be looking at spiritual intelligence and mastery, spiritual power broken, the mysteries of the metaphysical. We'll also be looking at understanding the 12 realms of the heavens, and also we're going to be looking at another mysterious topic, also the 13 heavens, which most of you don't know about. And we're still going to be looking at another serious topic, is going to be called ecumenism. Most times we tend to be blinded by our piety to different religion and different faith, and I'm going to be talking from a standpoint of a Christian background, because I have a Christian background. I'm still a Christian actually, but there's an understanding that most folks fail to have. I'm probably trying not to ask some questions, and it's difficult for them to have it because of some limitations that have. Now, some of these limitations have put us to a point where we limit the concept and the ideas of God, and because of that, even in the course of interacting and relating with God, we tend to miss the standpoint. Some of this information were committed to the hands of Adam, which after he left the estate of Eden, he could not actually utilize it anymore. And in the earlier history, God dealt with some of the watchers because they taught man some of this knowledge. And it's not that man wasn't supposed to have this knowledge. Man was supposed to have it, but man was too young. It was just after the fall, man has not yet gotten grasp of the earth realm where he had been plunged into, so he was trying to figure his life out. So for some of these angels now to bring this information was just like giving a little child a PhD, So God said no, and that's where some of the greatest corruption of this world started from. But it doesn't mean we should not have this knowledge. So please, I believe that this is the time. This is the last. Some of this information we need to have it committed to our hands. So I am begging you. I may not come today and say I want to discuss esotericism. I may not come today and say I want to discuss spiritual psychology. I may not come today and say I want to discuss the 13 heavens. This will just be interwoven and intertwined, so you get the holistic pictures. And now, I don't want anybody to limit his or her information based to some particular dimension of information he has gathered. This should not be about your priest, your pastors, your rabbis anymore. This should be about this information that we are going to be passing. So have an open mind. I dare you that some of the information I'm going to give to you today, some persons will not want me to pass these information. I will not tell you some of my sources, but I would dare you that some of these informations are given. They are given from a very, 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 I want to stress it, very, very higher dimensions above the earth realm. that I may not go into details of explaining. Now, we tend to wonder. Sometimes we think that the ideas we have are a product of our thinking. No, the ideas we have are a product of a realm, of a particular encounter with a realm that made us to have an access to some certain dimensions and nitty-gritties of how that realm works, and it now gives us an information that our mind, which is now a portal, just like a computer programming machine, which is now a portal, now communicating it to us in the form of the language you understand. Some of us that write fiction and stories will come to understand that sometimes a story, when you are done writing it, you know that this is not the product of your thinking faculty. You know that this is a life that has been given to you, and that is why most times those who understand the mystery of fictional metaphysics, we know that sometimes when the fictional story is given to you, it's actually a true story, hidden and quoted in the language of man. So when you look at it subtly, you begin to understand the true stories that comes out of it, and that's why it begins to break. And sometimes when people analyze some writers' stories, they write themselves will wonder, how did this come about in my book? So some of the things I'm going to look at, I have to bring this part so that we'll get a full grasp. So theognosis and the knowledge of God, this is what this channel is going to be all about. I decided to make sure I bring a disclaimer and make you understand that this is not about the Christian faith, it's not about Islam, it's not about Hinduism, it's not about nothing. It's all about the idea and the concept of God. And because most times we are so focused on religion and what we do, how different we are in our doctrines, in our dogmas, that we tend to throw away the idea of God out of everything, which is the most important thing we need to ever have as religious people. Now, I have a definition of religion, which is man looking for God. But now, this channel is a God looking for man, using his channel to look for you, so you get a trivial understanding to what exactly the mind of God is. Most times we think that what we are thinking is a product of our own independent thought. No, what we think are controlled from the meta-earth realm, which we call the metaphysics, and most times those who have the power to broker this, influence you in one way or the other that you don't know. So now is the time for you to become a power broker of your own in the spiritual things. Now there are things that we need to look at, and some of this information will make you see reasons why some of the things you were told, or some of the things that were recorded in the Bible, some of your holy books, were actually recorded. This information I'm going to pass in. I will not reference anything. So it is between you, me, your subconscious, and your superior self. So are you ready to be part of a journey that will change your life forever? Are you ready? If you're ready, I know I'm going to get a lot of criticism about this. I have prepared myself to wait for it. People are going to come with all sorts of things, and people are going to say probably it's not Christian or religious enough. But let me tell you something. God is not a religious being. Those who have superior information are not limited by the encumbrance of religion. Those who have spiritual information know why religion is at play. And when information like this come up, some of the power brokers feel threatened that somebody is bringing this information at a cheap. I know what it took me to get some of this information. I know some of these things I put there. I will give you my own practical experience, how it happened, how I did it, and so that you will come to your understanding of this in the spiritual realm.